One of the mistakes I see fall gardeners make is they don't plan for their fall garden in the same way that they were planning for their summer garden. Just like in the summer for your summer plants, you often start your plants in the winter or early spring. You should be starting many of your, not all of them, but many of your fall crops should be started in the summertime. Cabbage can take 65 to 100 plus days. 100 plus days in ideal conditions. Broccoli, which is another really popular one, that can take over 100 days also. Even lettuce like this here, like I'm pulling out here, getting ready to transplant these. Some of this lettuce here can take up to 70, 80 days, depending on the variety that you want to grow. So it's really, really important to start planning ahead of time. Make sure that you have time to grow the things that you want to grow. Start your seedlings early. Now, in this case, I had an opening here. This was an onion patch, and there is a cabbage worm. Look at that little bugger there. You gotta be in the, why the cabbage worm hit my lettuce. That's really odd. Anyway, so this here was a bed of onions. So I said to myself, well, I need some lettuce, so I'm gonna go ahead and overplant this lettuce, and then as other things start coming out, I'll just move some lettuce around. And that's what I'm doing today. So I'm just getting some of these seedlings out. I'll leave a good majority of them right here in this area here, but I need some seedlings. Planting your fall garden also helps maximize the little bit of space that you might have for gardening. I don't have much space, so I need to maximize my garden space in any way I can. Very minimal. I don't have a farm, I have a backyard garden. Like most of you, you don't have farms, you have a backyard garden. So you need to maximize the amount of room that you have and what it can actually produce for you. And you do that by succession sowing and planting. It's really important that you have, before the cold weather hits, to have strong, well-rooted plants. I'm going to take you over to one of the other gardens, and we will talk about some rules that you should try to follow when it comes to getting your fall garden ready. First thing is what it is that you want to grow. The next factor you need to know is, am I going to have a spot to grow what I want to grow in a timely manner? And in some cases, you may need to adjust what it is you want to grow and when you want to grow it based on if I'm going to have a spot or not in time. To help and determine that, if I'm going to have a spot or about when, like these tomato plants are going to be finished, will help you determine when it is you should be starting your seedlings depending on what it is you want to grow. The next thing you want to do is figure out what hardiness zone do you live in. And that's actually pretty easy. Modern technology, just get on Google, type in what hardiness zone am I in, and that'll tell you your hardiness zone, and then just from there, just my first average frost date. And I have a whole list of that I'll put in the comments and the description down below, and when that is. But you'll still need to determine what hardiness zone that you're in. The next thing you want to do is determine, and this is kind of one of the hard ones, guys, it can be very difficult, is one at a time to get rid of the plants. And sometimes it's a very painful process because you put a lot of time and effort into them, but they just gotta go. How do you determine that? Well, basically when they start slowing down, and you, in my case here, I've harvested just about every tomato that it's gonna put out. There's really nothing left. It's not gonna produce anymore. It's taking up space now. It's starting to die off. This is the determinate tomato. It's starting to die off. It's not gonna do anything more. There's no saving it. Well, we can save the seeds, and that's in my other video. But as far as this plant goes, it's done. Here's another one. Same thing. The plant is finished. It's time to get it out of there and make room for something else. And the sooner I can make room for something else, the more productive my garden is for me. It is kind of a painful process watching them go when you put so much time and effort into them. These plants started being planned for a year ago, just like I'm starting to plan my new plants now. Gotta get my cord wrapped out of there. There's a nice squash. So just in the same way that I've been planning, I started planting my summer crop now, or my winter, or my, well yeah, I'm planting my summer crops for next year in a way, getting seeds ready, and all that kind of stuff. It's time to prepare for the next round. And the next round should have already been planned for. Yeah, there's my next patch. I'll probably put 6 or 8 plants right in there. Some of the lettuce plants right there. One of the other things that you can do, or you should consider, by the way, this is just some regular steer grow compost. It's just your typical bagged compost, nothing fancy about it. One of the things you should always, one of the things that you can plan, or help you make your plan on what it is you can grow and when you can start it is, can you offer any protection to those plants? Do you have any kind of a way to keep them cool? Or keep them warm during the time that they'll need some protection? If you have a little hoop house or something, you can actually extend your grow time by a few months. Sometimes, depending on where you're at. Where I'm at, I have a hoop house that does a really good job for me, and I can grow pretty much year round. My biggest problem is I start running out of sunlight. A lot of these fall crops do well in lower light and stuff, and that's well and good. The lettuce I'm putting in now will do just fine in low light conditions, as long as I get some good sunlight during the day. Got compost in here. I'm just going to take a small handful of fertilizer. Lettuce doesn't really need a whole lot. Kind of mix it in a little bit. There we go. And now we can just kind of start planning where these plants are going to go. I'm going to plant them probably 3 or 4 inches apart. They don't need a lot of room. This is a romaine style lettuce, so it's going to kind of get long and tall. Go like that. Like that. That's a good one. Got some nice worms in here already. This is what I mean by succession sowing, guys. This bed has gone unplanted about 10 minutes. Not a very big bed, but it doesn't have to be. There's a tomato that'll cause problems next year. There. Look at that. And 15 minutes later, we're all planted back together, all planted, and it's looking good. I'm happy with that. So one of the things I mean by some of these crops take longer than other crops is, for instance, this cabbage is here. Now I started these probably the last week of June as seeds, got them ready to go in, and then when the garlic came out, I put these in. And I did the similar thing right back behind me here with the carrots, except I direct sowed those into the bed. The main point is you don't want to leave too much time in between plantings. I got a loudmouth dog. So you don't want to leave too much time in between your plantings. This got planted within 10 minutes. Plants came out, plant seedlings went in. I'll water these in here, and I'll have lettuce ready to go in about a month. Got something out of the video? Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.